But the next comedian, he filmed, edited, and did all the hard stuff, basically. So give some love to Isaac Campbell-Smith.
If you're going for Amanda, yeah. That's a good amount. This is the almost portion of the woke show. By the way, nothing interesting about this guy. Sleepy boy. Set list. Okay. If you were to line up all the comics that you've seen tonight and guess who has astrology jokes, I'd probably be the last pick, right? But here we are, pretty into astrology. And I'm not very good at, I'm into astrology because, I resent the idea of free will. And the bad choices we're making right now. So I'm not very good at astrology, though. Basically, all I could tell you is that I was born on the cusp of two signs, and what that means is that the Sagittarius in me apparently likes to put on jazz music and trim my pubes. But the Capricorn in me likes to put on death grips and aggressively pluck my nose hairs. What are you signaling for in the back?
I like both those music.
Oh, word. Yeah, give it up for jazz and death grips. Whoops. Thought I did this. That was a dumb joke. My dad saw my comedy for the first time recently, and the next morning, without any explanation, he sends me a video called How to Be Funny with Steve Martin. I don't get paid much for this comedy shit. Banjos are expensive, okay? It's not... But it's fun. Speaking of daddy issues, the famed philanthropist, billionaire Bruce Wayne, he fell down a well a while ago, and he got scared of the bats down there, and that turned him into Batman. That's what he did with that. He channeled his fear. And then his parents died along the way, and daddy issues. But if that had happened to me, what I would have been scared of, it's just the well. You know what I mean? It's just the hole. It's a hole, and it's low, and with the bats, at least you're not going to die alone, right? But going to spend the better part of my 20s as well man. Unassuming well digger by day and throwing bad guys into wells in the nighttime. Well, if it isn't well, man. That's my arch nemesis, irrigation guy. He's a real fucker. We take me and Bucket Boy. It's just a bucket that I drop out in people's heads. It's not really. More daddy issues. Did anybody's fathers ever take them fishing? They're younger? No. Yeah, same. Well, we went recently, right? And it was awkward because we spent, just several hours in silence, ignoring the conversation about why he wasn't around very much growing up. And this is funny to you. And then after what felt like hours, he started to get a tug on his rod. Oh, come on, be serious. It wasn't like he was whacking off or anything. I mean, that would be a weird thing to do in that moment, right? It's like, this can't be any weirder. No, but he tugged on his rod, and it was a bottle. It was a message in a bottle. There was a piece of paper, and it was like Christmas morning when we got that bottle. We broke it open, and inside was a nude photograph of Farrah Fawcett, who's his childhood crush. And then he just started whacking off. So now it comes full circle. Your giggle, if you had not giggled, the form of that joke would not. So you did a service. So thank you for having the mind of an infant. There's always one. There's always. We got to do something about the fucking Earth, right? This has been good segue. It's been bad, right? Global warming that's my big issue for me. Before the show started, I actually siphoned the gas out of everybody's cars. So this is a carbon-free show you guys have come out to tonight. Give it up for yourselves. Yeah. So dumb. I was grocery shopping. I don't know if this is relatable. I was in the canned tuna aisle, and it was a section. It's not really. There was a woman there also buying canned tuna, and I thought in this moment, this is a kindred spirit. I should make a human connection in this moment, right? So what I went with was, chicken of the sea. That's a great pick. You can put some mayonnaise in it, and then put it on bread, and then you got yourself a sandwich. For lunch for the day, how are you doing? So that's not a real. She surprisingly responded though, and she said, not well. I'm not doing well. I said, oh no, why is that? And she said, well, my cat went missing about a week ago, and its body just turned up today. And to that I said, oh, that's great news. How's it doing? That's fucking so stupid. That was a dead cat. You guys got it. So then what I did, my next course of action was to just abandon my shopping cart and run off murmuring to myself, the Safeway 2 miles from here has the same stuff, I can get it there. My brain is my Achilles heel. That's what I found. I was at Hooters with my girlfriend. She made me go. She's bisexual. Maybe that's a red flag. I don't. But we went to Hooters, and our bartender had on this it's like a glittery Ed Hardy butterfly belt buckle. It's really fucking dumb. And I asked her, does your boss make you wear that fucking atrocity? And she said, well, actually, this is the only part of my outfit that I have control over. My tits are up here, by the way. That was an expensive mistake to make. That was a $20 tip on a $5 tab. That's really dumb. My girlfriend tried to get me into sexting. I don't know if you guys sext. No, but you guys are really. What do you do? Dominoes? Okay, well this may be relatable as well, because she tried to get me into sexting. She sent me a picture of. I'm not going to describe it. It's private, but it's her genitals. That's pretty cool, and I tried. You can't not reciprocate that, right? So I got my phone camera out, and I try to hit the light on it and get a really good picture. But it took me 30 minutes, and then I finally gave up on it and texted back, thanks. But she persisted, right? I'm kind of a nerd, so she wanted to appeal to the nerd in me. She sent me this weird Harry Potter erotic fan fiction. She wrote oh Harry, I'm all alone in the Chamber of Secrets. I'm trapped and my robes have fallen off. Whatever will you do to me? And I was like, look, there's a 40-foot fucking monster snake in these chambers. I'm flattered you think I can cast an erection right now. None of that. That sounds like a you problem. I'm opening up a sex shop, by the way. Do we have any AARP card holders? It's called Forever 69. Yuck. I lived in Thailand for a few years. I moved back about a year ago, and gosh, there are some things you can do there that you cannot do here. I had a bad mouse infestation at my house once, and they didn't have any mice traps at the store, but for $30 you can buy a python on the black market. And so we picked one up, and me and my roommate, we just kind of tossed that fucker up into the crawl space, and oh boy, that was a symphony of sounds. The python ate itself to death. There was a lot of mice. And then 3 weeks later, we had a whole nest of mice again, and also a python carcass. Floorboards. Somehow we got our security deposit back. I guess that was to be expected. Over there, I broke it again. But we've reached the climax of this thing that I'm doing right now, this performance art piece. When I lived in Thailand, I worked at a resort in Thailand, and this is a story about the time that I made a series of increasingly stupid mistakes that ruined an Australian porn star's holiday. And have you guys seen Nanette? Have you heard of Nanette? Are we familiar? It's so there's this trend in comedy right now to do these sad existential crisis stories. And it's not necessarily funny, but there's this moment of catharsis at the end. And this is kind of like that, in that it's probably not very funny, but instead of catharsis, you're just going to feel like a knot in your stomachs by the end of it, just anxiety projected onto you. Bear with me. So I worked at, it was a pretty big deal at this resort. 5 stars, fucking politicians would come, titans of industry. And then one week, we had Catherine Wolfe. She's an Australian porn star. You guys need to keep up. She's big in Australia, believe me. But, so it was a big deal when she came with the staff there. It was the craziest thing that ever happened. A porn star coming to our resort, and it was weird because we had Kevin Spacey come a few months prior, and he paid one of our massage therapists to fuck him for the night, and it was nothing, not a big deal. So if you take anything from this story, if not laughter. So Thailand is prostitution's pretty normalized, but pornography is heavily stigmatized. So that's a Snapple cap you've now earned, at the very least. So I had a lot of anxiety because of the conversation about this porn star that was coming, and I worked next door to reception in sales and marketing, and I was under strict orders to not really interact with the guests because I'm an uncomfortable person and not really good at hospitality. So they had a 30-minute meeting every week, though, the front desk, and my office has to cover for them. And on this fated week, the first mistake I made was agreeing to do it. I had no business being there, but everyone else was busy, so I had to do this thing. And nobody was supposed to come, right? This whole thing was just not supposed to happen. But as I'm at the front desk, 10 minutes in, up pulls a limo, out walks Catherine Wolfe, the Tasmanian devil herself. That's not what she's called, don't look that up. I was okay, I guess I'm doing this thing. I have to make her feel welcome and comfortable and okay. So would you like a coconut, Catherine Wolfe? You look very beautiful today. Thank you for taking the coconut. I'm doing well. Let's get you checked in and out of my hair. I'm doing pretty well, right? As I'm going through the procedures, though, my boss walks out of our office, and he was pissed because he knows that I should not be doing this right now, and he's glaring at me. And in that moment, for some reason, I laughed. It was like an anxiety giggle. I don't know if you guys get those. I laughed, and Catherine Wolf, she goes, "Did I say something funny?" And in that moment, I panicked and said, "No, it's just you look a lot different on camera." So not only had I made her feel extremely uncomfortable by calling out her profession, I also expressed that her physical appearance is laughably distracting, which is how she earns her money. So I felt bad about that, but I decided I was going to buy her a drink for dinner that night. So I gave the restaurant some money. I didn't give it to her or anything. I paid them to give it to her, and so that's fine. That's my karma for the day. I've made that up. Next morning, though, her wellness coach for the week comes into my office, and he's really pissed off, and he's like, "Did you buy a drink for Catherine Wolf?" He's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "She's here to work on her alcoholism, right?" She got fucked up after that drink. I can't do anything right. Later that day, I was walking through the resort, past the restaurant. I see that one of the fans in a restaurant is not on, so I signaled to one of the waiters to turn it on. Catherine Wolf, I didn't notice her, but she's sitting at the edge of the restaurant, and right as I'm signaling to him, she serenely turns her head to take in the nature, and there I am you, me, let's go fucking whack off. And she's just so disappointed, you could see her. And I thought I was committed to the fact that was the end of this story. There's no way this can escalate further. And I kind of forgot about it. 2 weeks later, I was out working so I made videos for this resort, right? And a lot of the times I would have to book a treatment room, a massage space, and videograph it and make it look really nice and pretty and all that. So I was doing that, and I guess there was a miscommunication with the front desk, because guests weren't supposed to come in, but out of nowhere there was a knock on the door, and as I'm filming, I kind of pivot with my body towards the door with the camera, point the camera right at the door, and you're not going to believe who walks in. It was Catherine Wolf. And her, so deflated. She, there's a beat, and then she says, guys like you are the reason that women like me have substance abuse problems. I told you that's how the story was going to go. It's not the biggest laugh to end on for a comedy set. But I did call it. So I know what I'm doing. But that is the end of this comedy set. So thank you.
Thank you, Isaac.